The Poisoner's Handbook was written by Deborah Blum. This book is about a pair of forensic scientists, Alexander Gettler, the city's first toxicologist, and Charles Norris, the chief medical examiner. They both become inseparable as they work together to solve each murder case using their creativity and knowledge. The book is based on true cases that occurred during the Jazz Age in the early 20th century. As the book progresses, it talks about how forensic medicine has evolved greatly between 1915 to 1936. Each chapter introduces new characters and new poisons and how the two forensic specialists find different ways to discover the substance used in that murder. Hello, we are here today with Deborah Blum for an interview. I have a few questions to ask. Why were you inspired to write a book about toxicology in the Jazz Age?
Well, my father was an entomologist and my mother was a journalist, so it was just kind of in my blood my entire life. And I majored in chemistry in college, and then when I switched schools, I changed my major to journalism. So both paths just kind of led me to write about these books.
Okay, next question. What was your favorite poison to write about?
I liked all of them, but ethyl alcohol really stood out to me because it's one of the most famous poisons in the world, because it's most common, and being the ingredient that makes a drink alcoholic, it's widely used. After FDR was elected, Gettler noticed that it was probably could be considered as one of the most important poisons on their list, or any list, because of that.
Next up, we will be interviewing Alexander Gettler, New York City's first toxicologist. What inspired you to become a toxicologist?
Well, toxicology isn't a new profession, but it was still growing, and I liked that I could take on something that needed to be built up on its own, and I love to learn, I love to create things, and with my PhD in biochemistry and my work at Bellevue Hospital, Charles Norris saw my potential and came to me to be the city's toxicologist.
Okay, next question. Dr. Gettler, you've gone through so many cases within these past few years. What was the most difficult poison to detect?
Well, each poison has its own difficulty, and they're all interesting to research, but wood alcohol was hard because I had to invent my own detection techniques. Later, as the stories developed and the cases went on, I went on to create 58 different detection techniques in the body as well as the drink itself.
The quote that we chose is on page 3 in the Poisoner's Handbook. In the early 20th century, industrial innovation flooded the United States with a wealth of modern poisons, creating new opportunities for the clever poisoner and new challenges for the country's early forensic detectives. The reason why this quote is significant is because as the Industrial Revolution came about, so did a number of new and deadly chemicals which poisoners used to kill their victims. As a result, the forensic scientists had to come up with new techniques for discovering an increasing number of deadly poisons, which accurately summarize this book. This new research led to many discoveries and also how these poisons acted upon the human body.
Here's a quote for the case that I'm going to talk about. When radium was popular, there was a major case involving the U.S. Radium Corporation. In this case, Dr. Gettler let bones sit in X-ray films wrapped in safety paper for 10 days. When the time was up, alpha radiation, beta and gamma rays would leave white dots on the film.
Read about how 2 of New York's hotshots deal with uncovering the big sleep.
We're talking death with a capital D here,
So get reading! Why you should read the Poisoner's Handbook. People who are interested in reading about forensic medicine and mysterious murder cases should read the Poisoner's Handbook. This book gives you a basic understanding of how these somewhat everyday chemicals can affect and harm the human body. While it is a very advanced book, it is perfect for people seeking a challenge. It is also a very interesting and intriguing book for adults and teenagers because the author uses very vivid details and provides information.
This is a good book because it provides the reader with basic understanding about poisons, even if he or she is not planning to enter into the medical field.